better for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Okay.
Get any better for the Kansas
apparently
City
I've got
Chiefs
some
this
technical difficulties
offseason.
going on.
They locked down their
We'll just
future
go-
in Patty Mahomes.
You got
started with
Jones, then Kelsey and Mahomes signed for like half a billion. You got players on your football team buying baseball team.
I'm surrounded by baby toys. Like Patrick Mahomes is surrounded by guys who on offense are some of the best in the league.
Oh no, let the defense go. Let the defense go.
If Patty does what he does, and he has one less guy on offense.
Football team
And
buying
Kansas City,
baseball
I
team.
thank you.
What's going
Alrighty,
on?
welcome in. Hopefully the technical difficulties have resolved themselves. So always a fun deal when you hit the LA buttons and it goes, not so much. But here we are. We're live. Bigger than it's the SportsMe Weekly Windup. You've got the Rum Boys, Robbie in the house. And I, of course, am Derek from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. Robbie, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. Just got back from the gym. Tired, exhausted, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit this wind up for everybody.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a lot of fun here. The windup's always like, it's one of those that, we do a lot of shows over the course of a week and over the course of a year. And the windup's always kind of a fun one because it's kind of off the beaten path for a lot of the other shows that I do and a lot of the other topics that we cover. So this one's always a lot of fun to get together with you and just, talk about what's happening on the SportsMe app. So guys, if you haven't had a chance, like you're only getting small little like snippets and clips and things like that of what's truly going on in the SportsMe verse, and you're missing out. Like that's the nicest way that I can say it is you're missing out. And you don't want to miss
Absolutely.
out. You don't want to have FOMO going on. And so make sure you download the app. That's all that comes down to. Make sure you download the app and join me and Rumboys Robbie over there on the SportsMe app. But yeah, Robbie, anything that kind of strikes you as in particular that that the people need to know about?
Link is in the description. Make sure that you guys, go ahead and click the link to download the app. It's available on iOS and Android. And we appreciate you guys. If you want to bring, any debates or any topics, or you feel like, maybe there's one of the topics that we talked about on this show that you want to maybe address, hop on over to the SportsMe app and we can, we can take your questions, your comments, concerns. And yeah, everybody, we're just linking the whole entire world of sports together, athletes, fans like yourselves that are watching this show, and much more, agents, journalists, you name it. So yeah, I mean, definitely guys get on the app, use the link in the description section, get sportsme.com. Make sure you guys get the SportsMe app, join the conversation today.
Absolutely, and one of the doing as well is featuring some of the different content creators, different folks on the app there as well. And that's we kind of started some of that here very recently. So one of the folks that we were looking at doing that with is we set that tweet live. So some of you may have seen some of this already on some of the socials, but is the old Josh Smoky Hell NFL Nelson, who's
Yes, sir.
got some funny takes, got some interesting stuff there, and this was kind of one of just a little snippet of one of the videos that he was in that was kind of just fun to watch. So let's go ahead and head to the video.
Which rookie were you right about this year? Give me your thoughts.
So I nailed Najee Harris this year as a RB1.
One I got right was Trey Sermon. I just didn't believe in that, given how the Shanahans use running backs.
Kyle Anthony Pitts, next question.
Just one of those. I always love the energy that he brings with those, but it always puts a smile on my face with a lot of those things that he does. But Robbie, any thoughts on that one?
Look, Kyle Pitts got a lot of the reps that he got towards the end of the season, in part to there not being a Calvin Ridley. Okay. So I want to make sure that I preface that. All right. By any means am I like this like massive Kyle Pitts truther? Hell no. I think the whole internet knows this about me by this point. He benefited because of the absence of their star receiver. Like, and even prior to that, like when Ridley was on the field, like I think that maybe that may have made it to where they weren't sure what they were getting out of Pitts or what they were going to get out of Pitts as the season progressed. Depending on whatever happens with Ridley and his mental health, I hope that he's doing well. If he comes back to the team, Pitts now in my mind, is an afterthought on that offense. But sure, Kyle Pitts truthers, clap it up, give yourself a round of fucking applause. He had a pretty decent season. For me, it was Jamar Chase. I hit on Jamar Chase. I got that one right. But I just know receivers like that. So that was a given. So yeah, Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Jamar Chase definitely was a hit on that one. I probably wasn't necessarily as high on Jamar Chase as I should have been. Just simply from what we've seen typically in the years past with the rookies, it usually takes a couple of about halfway
Couple
through the season for
years.
them to pop. And even recently, right, we've seen a growing trend where it typically takes 6, 7, 8 games for the game to slow down a little bit for these rookie wide receivers, and we'll see some of these guys pop in the back half type of thing. Which definitely has some value when you're going down the stretch for your fantasy deal. But if I'm drafting a dude in the 4th or 5th round, as was the case with Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, I want somebody that's going to be viable season long in most cases. Jamar Chase ended up being that, but it was definitely an inconsistent road going through that. And even with Kyle Pitts putting up one of the best tight end receiving yard performances that we've seen in NFL history. He came close to catching Mike Ditka, didn't quite do it, but 1,000 yards for a rookie tight end hadn't been heard of since Mike Ditka all the way back in those days. He still didn't return the value on his draft capital. He just didn't. No, you could have waited another round, got Mark Andrews, and got a guy that finished tight end 1. Like just saying. So, but so that's one of those that a little tough for me to swallow on that one. I was pretty high on Najee Harris there.
That was going to be my second.
Yeah, that's just a built-in workload, and rookie running backs typically translate to the NFL quicker. You typically see them fade down the stretch a little bit more so, just because of the fact that they're not used to that 16, 17 week grind. They're used to playing those 13, 14 weeks in college, and so and having those games more spaced out to get those games in there too. So
with Najee, I mean, like landing spot had a significant amount to do with that. Like if you're a running back, if you are a football player, you play at the running back position, and if you get drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know that you're about to receive work. You know that there's a built-in workload there for you. Now, what you do with that, that's on you. I mean, but the Steelers have produced greats for eons, for decades. So it was only fitting that history was going to repeat itself, and Najee was going to come in there and just beat this beast of a back for them. I think he has a bright future up there in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely, I would agree with that 100%. So, guys, if you want to become one of the the featured creators here on SportsMe, the first step is to download the app. Get sportsme.com. Download the app. Come talk with me and Robbie over there. It's a lot of fun, always a blast. And one of the topics that we started seeing, really it's very, very trending right now is Black Monday. We're just past Black Monday, and lots of coaching vacancies out there, lots of turnover, and some unexpected ones to it. And that was one of the ones that made a little bit of the rounds here the last couple of days on the SportsMe, was a firing that some folks didn't necessarily understand. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one.
I kind of want to see what SportsMe's take is regarding the Brian Flores firing. And not the fact that we all know that him getting fired is a dumb move for the most part, but what do you think the reason is?
Was the way tour was handled, was that on Flores or was that on upper management? Either way, it's an absolute joke the way they've handled the whole tour situation.
You could say the way the season began for them, but most teams, when they're in a situation like that after the first half of the year, many teams just give up and just tank. But they did the exact opposite. They came close to making the playoffs.
There's no reason why a team is going in a good trajectory and they pull the rug from him. There's no reason for it.
So this is a really tricky situation. I think this is just coming down to Stephen Ross, the owner, being super impatient and just wanting to win now.
Well, supposedly now there's a lot of reports that a lot of people didn't like Brian Flores.
Tua has such a hard time. He's played behind a terrible offensive line his entire career, and he's won more games than he's lost.
Look, with the Brian Flores situation, okay, I don't think that it was smart for Miami to move on from Brian Flores. And I hope that Flores, and I'm sure that Flores will get picked up by another organization and then just continue to whoop the Dolphin piss out of Miami. With that being said and being stated, I understand there are reports that say that people didn't get along with him. He had relationship issues and so on and so forth. We didn't hear about any of this realistically, really, until he got fired. So how much validation there is to that? It's like usually a person has a track record. Usually a person, and usually with the firing, there's media and headlines and stuff like that leads up to it. There was nothing realistically that should have led up to this, And if it's the impatience of Miami wanting to win right now and right away, what's waiting another extra year going to do for you? You haven't won shit and God knows when. Let's just face it. And I'm gonna be the one to say it. Black coaches don't get, a lot of burn in the NFL. You got Mike Tomlin, and that's pretty much who they keep around. They keep routinely. That's pretty much the equivalent of an office, being like, hey, we got one here. We checked the box. And then you have, the whole thing like the Rooney Rule and all this stuff and everything like that. Look, it is what it is. I don't think that had anything to do with it. But this is a league that has a dark history and a dark past surrounding, players of color being able to play positions or being able to coach and have certain coaching positions and to be able to have front office and management positions. It's just odd. It's just very bizarre. All of a sudden, he doesn't get along with people. He has poor relationships. Like that has never been heard of. That had never been a thing. I just think that it's odd. Miami, this is the reason why you're going to continue to lose, and you will lose forever because you're not patient. You didn't give this man opportunity to actually build. Like straight up, you did not give him an opportunity to actually build.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought when you look at it from the standpoint that 3 seasons in, he gets the boot. Didn't have, if you look at the cumulative of 3 years, was not a great record there. But when you look at each of the last 2 seasons, put together a winning record there, and more importantly, had a 4-2 record against Bill Belichick, which if you're talking in, teams forever have been trying to figure out how to beat Belichick and beat Belichick consistently. And nobody had put together that formula up until, Brian Flores had managed to do it. The only, it didn't happen to the point where, and so you're talking about having to beat the perennial team in your conference and in your division, and you're going to get rid of the guy that has manages to put together a winning record against you know the team to beat in your conference and in your division. Like that just doesn't make sense
With a very unstable quarterback at that. Very unstable quarterback.
Right. Like you look at it last year, right? Like one of my favorite jokes last year was the fact that the Miami Dolphins were essentially a baseball team at the quarterback position in 2020 because of the fact that they'd roll out the starter and then hey, we're going to the bullpen to bring the closer in to finish this thing off, type of thing. Like you just don't see that in football. See it all the time in baseball, sure, but not in football, not at that position, right? Like especially if you're looking to try and get a guy reps to build and bring along. So an interesting deal, right? Like I don't know why you necessarily bring in 2 offensive coordinators to do a co-coordinator thing with a very young and still needing to develop type of rookie or quarterback there in Tua. That one didn't make much sense to me. They haven't drafted well at the offensive line. Like their offensive line has been putrid. Last year, I believe they were one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. Depending upon who you ranked, who you looked at was doing the rankings, they were bottom 5 very consistently across
Pretty much
the
every
board there.
time, yeah.
The draft picks that they had spent on the offensive line certainly haven't panned out there, and really have done just not a very good job drafting those positions and keeping the quarterback upright. One of those that, if you look at the development of any quarterback, what's the biggest thing? What's the biggest common denominator you see in a successful young quarterback and a quarterback that tends to not make it past their rookie contract? And that is having an offensive line that can keep him upright and allow them to stay in the pocket, not see ghosts, and allow the game to start slowing down for them, right? Like, I'm a big believer in part of the reason Sam Darnold has had his issues there is the fact that the Jets didn't put an offensive line in front of him for years, had one of the worst offensive lines out there, and was just constantly smacked and hit. And we've seen this thing happen time and time again, where the formula is that you don't put a great offensive line in front of teams, or at least put an offensive line in front of your franchise quarterback, your young QB that you spent all of this draft capital on. Yeah, that's the thing that allows them not to make it to their 5th-year option, or make it to the next set.
I also believe that Tua hasn't been it and is not going to be it for Miami, but that's just a Tua thing. The offensive line, that's on the GM to hire and make and bring in the right, or draft the right players, in coordination or in collaboration with the coach. I think Miami has deeper issues than coaching issues than coaches. It's an organizational thing.
Right, and nothing puts the exclamation point on what you're just describing there than how they handled the Deshaun Watson Tua right around the trade
Yep.
deadline, and the rumors that we've seen swirling all around. Is Deshaun Watson going to be a Miami Dolphin? Is that trade going to happen? All of those types of things. So, yeah, again, like that just puts a little cherry on top to the point that the broader point that you're speaking of poor organizational you know success and sustainability with that one. So yeah, it's too bad to see that a guy that it was that successful over the last little bit and turned around a franchise that had been just a dumpster fire forever,
And
to
still
make them.
is.
Yes, but he had made them relevant, and it made them in the playoff hunt, going down to the last couple of weeks of the season, the last 2 years there. Something tells me that this is not the end of Brian Flores, and that we will most
No.
likely see him as I'm expecting him to land as a head coach this year in
Yeah.
2022. He's not going to be one of these coaches that get fired and then has to go and get a coordinator job again to sit out and wait his time again, type of thing. I believe that there will be a franchise that takes a shot on him, brings him in to head coach their team, and will ultimately be successful at it this year. And I don't think that he's going to necessarily get one of those cellar dweller rebuild type of head coaching jobs either. I think that he'll land on a team that,
He'll land with a contender. I think he'll
yep,
land with a contender.
yeah,
Yeah.
or even a mid-tier team that they
Yeah,
need
like
a
a
couple of
mid-tier.
pieces. So, like, yeah,
Denver.
that's
I can see Denver being like, "Hey, yo, what's up?"
yeah, that
Yep.
was one of we talked about that last night on our show, and that was one of the landing places that we'd very much thought of being a deal, right? Like the Broncos have a top 5 defense last couple of years actually, and just can't seem to manage to put those things together with it. Now, they've got bigger issues than a defense, but you keep the ball rolling there on a defensive side of things. You let your GM go out and get you a quarterback that's not Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock that can actually
Actually,
stay
yeah,
in
swing it.
drives,
Yeah.
put points on the board. And I can go on and on and on this from my hometown Denver Broncos. We can get in and fill an hour-long rant with me doing that, so I'll stop myself there. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll see him on the sidelines this year wearing the head coach visor very easily. So I expect big things from him going forward as well. So
Miami, you played yourself.
right, like
He's gonna take a team, whatever job he gets, he's gonna get a ring with that team. Like it's gonna happen. Like
right.
because that would be is that the most Miami shit ever though? Like Miami moves on, gets rid of, like look at how great Tannehill's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like It would just be like the most Miami thing ever. Like, just say
Right. Like that was one of those that it's I have a feeling if there was a divisional job, another head coaching position in that division, he would be like, I'm not even interviewing anywhere else. Just I want this job here, and if nothing else, he's going to make his mission to just go out and beat the Dolphins.
Exactly.
Every year. So, but let's go ahead and let's head over into some of the live sports are where it's at, right? Like that's always one of the best places to hang out and watch games. And so let's there's a conversation going on about some live sports. Let's head over there and take a look.
What is your favorite sport to go see live? I'm a fantasy football guy, but I actually enjoy going to college basketball games. It's my most fun sporting event.
I got 3 that I absolutely love going to see live. Soccer. Second is actually hockey. And then one of my favorites is definitely baseball.
Hockey! It's the best!
The 3 that are clearly the best are MLB, NHL, and college football.
I'm a die-hard baseball fan. Best sport to watch live. Smokey Joe's got it right. It's hockey. With the caveat of it being in Canada.
Being an Aussie, my answer will be a bit different, but most of you guys will have no idea what I'm talking about. So for me, it's watching rugby league live.
Yeah, another vote here for hockey. Used to have season tickets to the San Jose Sharks. College football too, just for the environment. If it's your school, it's a really cool experience.
So hockey games are hella lit. I remember we had my whole squadron, we had obviously like graduated basic training together. And like the first sporting event that I was able to go to, like after weeks of just being yelled at in your face and shit, like having some fucking drill sergeant in your face or whatever, like I can't remember the team. It was like some like lower level like hockey team, like I guess like the AAA of hockey, and like it was so lit and it was so dope. Like I took my mom, my brother, and they were like my mom was like lit, like she was like, this is crazy, like this is not. She had never been to a hockey game. Been to a couple of Capitals games. I've been in some Avs games out here in Colorado. Hockey's definitely lit, but I'm surprised no one mentioned like going to like an MMA match or like a boxing match. Like you guys haven't been to one. I've been to some lower level like MMA events. I think it's worth it. It's something about seeing someone get knocked the fuck out like up close and personal. It's like, wow, like that just happened. I think that those are pretty dope sporting events.
Yeah, for me, it's always it's going to be college basketball. Is really where I enjoy going and watching. Right, like the especially if you're in the arena with some of those big time programs, like those are always just amazing environments there. And then football is always going to be the second one. Hockey, I do enjoy when I go watch hockey. I'm just not that big of a hockey fan myself, but I do enjoy the environment, do enjoy the pace of play and the intensity that those players bring to it. So I can definitely appreciate the all the hockey fans out there and what you're talking about. I can certainly appreciate that one. Just not necessarily my cup of tea.
Yo, I just had a flashback talking about live sporting events. If y'all have never been to a soccer game like overseas in Europe, that shit is lit. Like that shit gets lit. Stadiums are rocking, like flares are like going on. I didn't even know you could fucking bring the flare into the stadium until I was stationed overseas. Yo, soccer games are lit. Like I cannot watch it on TV, like unless it's FIFA. Like obviously, like I'm super tuned into FIFA. Like when FIFA comes on, I'm like boom, Team Italy all the way. But yeah, like if y'all never been to like a real like soccer game like in Europe, like that's dope. I didn't want to say like football because like me being a fantasy football analyst, like I'm gonna say football, like that is not the most entertaining content ever. It's like, so yeah, I was like, yeah.
And for the most part, I actually think that the environment, most college stadiums are a better there's a different intensity level when you're watching some of these at some of these college stadiums than what you're watching at the professional level there, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the product on the field is better at the professional level than what you're seeing at the college level, but the environment, the intensity that's going on there, the raucous student crowds going wild.
Yeah.
There's few things that can beat some of those college environments. So
Hey,
that's usually my preferred way of watching those things.
nothing wrong with watching some football live. Getting drunk with a couple of sweaty ass frat dudes all around you. Like it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, alrighty. Well, we've got one more video to hit up here, and another one of our featured creators. You can catch his feature will be posted on our socials tomorrow. So make sure that you're checking that one out. All of that, you'll be able to find new ways to connect with Nick from P2W. Let's go ahead and hit this one up.
SportsMe, what's up? What's up? So the NFL playoff schedule is all set, good to go. We have some good games this weekend. Going down the list: Raiders, Bengals, Patriots, Bills, Eagles, Bucks, 49ers, Cowboys, Steelers, Chiefs, Cardinals, Rams. Which matchup for you is the most exciting? Let me know.
Man, there's a lot of good games. You nailed it, buddy. There's a couple I'm really interested in. The Niners-Cowboys game. There's a lot of history there in the NFC.
It's Patriots Bills, and it's not even close.
Niners, Cowboys. That's the answer.
For me, I think it's the Rams, Cardinals. I think that should be a really, really nice game.
All of them. Can I just vote for all of them?
All of them, yeah.
That's the one I want to see is all of them.
Yeah, so I'll actually be covering all of them, all the games. But to be fair, okay, to play by P2W's rules, by the homie Nick's rules. Look, yes, for the nostalgia aspect, it's gotta be Dallas, San Fran, like San Fran, Dallas. Like it's gotta be that one game. Like it's, to me, that's the one. Now, if we're just gonna focus on this year and this year only, that Monday night game between Arizona and LA. I mean, the fact that it sucks that one of those teams are gonna go home so early in this, but I get it. I understand. Somebody's gotta go home. But that, to me, that one is both have done so well this season. The Cardinals are a 160 dog.
But the Cardinals are on the road. Like that's going to help them out tremendously. They haven't played well when they play out in the desert, but give them a road game. Those are some road dogs there. They'll bring some heat and some energy, and it'll be interesting to see. Plus, it's one of those that I think the Cardinals, with some of the injuries that they got hit with right there, kind of the end of the middle or the middle to end of the season type of thing, definitely kind of hurt. And I think that they're starting to get healthy again. And so we'll see them kind of bounce back full force here. So not going to surprise me to see the Cardinals pull an upset here.
You want to know a little fact?
Sure.
Another game that I'm excited about. This goes to say like another game like I'm super excited about. The first text message ever, the first thing for one of these things ever, was sent in 1992. Do you want to know the words that have never, ever, ever been texted on any cell phone and sent like a confirmed text message? The Bengals won a playoff game. If the Bengals beat the Raiders, Cincinnati's going to lose their shit. Like, I want to see. Maybe it's not the game as much as I'm excited about, because I have Cincinnati whooping the Raiders. Like, okay, I have Cincinnati by 7, but still, all right. I think Cincinnati beats the Raiders. It's not necessarily watching the game that I'm excited for. I mean, I'm gonna be covering the game. I'll be on Run Boys, on YouTube. But to see Cincinnati react, like when Cleveland won their first game, and God knows when, and like they let the locks off the coolers and let the coolers open, and seeing Cleveland just go crazy. Like seeing just seeing that all over my Instagram feed, like seeing my friends from Cleveland, like, yo, like I'm drinking some old ass beer, but it's good. Like, yo, yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. It wasn't old. They replenished the beer, but yeah.
Yeah, that and the Raiders are another franchise too that it's been a long time since they've been in a playoff matchup there as well. So yeah, that one's going to be a great one there.
2002.
Yeah. So it's shoot. there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people roaming around here. They ain't never seen the Raiders in a playoff game either. So,
Yeah,
um,
last time the Raiders were in the playoffs, they went to a Super Bowl
yep,
against the Tampa Bay Bucks.
yep.
Oh, good old Rich Gannon, old ass Gannon. I never thought that dude was going to retire.
No, no. But the funny thing is Tom Brady's older than Rich Gannon.
Gannon, yeah, fuck.
Doesn't seem like it, but yeah, when they when he quit playing, Tom Brady is older than that. So
Yeah.
there's an interesting thought for you on a Wednesday. But
Like, really quick, least interesting game that I think that'll go down this weekend will be that Tampa Philly game.
yeah,
Both sides have been banged up down the stretch, completely just like it's just I don't. I have a feeling it's gonna be bad. I have a feeling that game is gonna be bad.
yeah. It should be interesting though, because I believe that the Eagles will get Miles Sanders back on this one. They've got all
Yeah.
of their players back on the COVID thing. They basically rested everybody of import on that roster last week. Even though you had guys make official starts and take snaps and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, it was a rest for most of their players. So they basically are coming off of a bye week in a lot of senses there. Which may end up helping them out tremendously with some of their injury issues that they've been dealing with. But that being said, I have a hard time ever looking for anybody to beat Brady in the playoffs. Like that's one of those that you do that, you make that call at your own peril in most cases.
Yeah. You see the disrespect on the on the point spread on the Chiefs game.
No, I haven't, because although
12
how
and a half.
yeah. Well,
I don't think I've ever seen a double digit. I mean, I'm sure I've seen a double digit, but I can't recall a double digit playoff
right.
like spread. Like I can't remember the last time I saw that. Like, so this is going to be interesting to see how the Steelers do.
Right. Well, that was one of those too that a lot of I kept hearing a lot of folks talk about oh well, the that Chargers and Raiders game, uh, you know, how some of the conspiracy series there at the end, that the timeout changed all of that kind of stuff. Like, just to help everybody with the thought there, if the Raiders tie, they get the 7th seed, and then they have to go and play Kansas City in Kansas City. Versus getting to go to, I'm sorry, yeah, to play
Yeah.
Kansas City in Kansas City versus having to play Cincinnati in Cincinnati. Like,
Yeah,
there's
no, I don't want to go to the jungle. I did not want to go to the jungle and have to face Cincinnati. Cincinnati's hot right now. I'm
right,
staying away from that.
but so's Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like, and really at that point, who would you rather play if you're the Raiders? Do you want to play the team in division that you couldn't figure an answer out to all season long? Didn't matter what that was, even when you were riding high and you were looking really good at points in the season when you were playing them, they still found a way to beat you. Or do you want to head to Cincinnati on a team that doesn't have the playoff experience that the Chiefs certainly have, and go there? I'm gonna take the inexperienced team that's certainly talented. They might be hot right now, but I don't want the hot and experienced team in Arrowhead. Like, that's just a place that you don't want to play in
You
the
wanna
playoffs anyway. So
exactly. I mean, be interested to see how this weekend goes down. There's definitely going to be. I don't think there's going to be as many upsets as people may think, but I think that there will be at least like one or two upsets. Like something that we don't expect is going to happen is going to happen.
always does.
Like okay, me and you, we're able to make a take and develop a case for Cincinnati, right? The general public and the casual fan is looking at Cincinnati right now, and they're like, Cincinnati playoffs, and that's the math that they're doing in their head, and they're like, oh, Cincinnati's gonna lose. Like, Cincinnati's not gonna be good. Like, that's the math that the casual fan is doing right now.
Yeah, but you look back at anybody's call sheet before the beginning of the season, like, go back and look at it. And this is one thing we did on our show last night too. Is we had kind of the the accountability
Yeah.
part of the season, where we went back and we looked at, because we'll call our divisional winners, the conference championships, the Super Bowl, game predictions, Super Bowl winner, all of that before the season ever kicks off, and not a single person on our show called the Bengals to win the AFC North. And I would be hard pressed to say that anybody out there outside of a diehard Cincinnati fan had picked them to win that conference or that division.
I'm mad that I didn't. I picked Baltimore to win that division, but I did have Cincinnati being the wild card team, being a wild card team. So I did get that part like right. I was like, yo, like if they'll get in the playoffs. Like I was like I mean, obviously by how much exposure, I had on Joe Burrow and Jamar, like I was just all in. I don't know what it was. Like it just felt like magic. But but also like in the same breath, like I'd be like, oh, Cincinnati's really good, but I hate Zach Taylor as a coach. I can now go on record and say that Zach Taylor's a good coach. He's doing his thing. He's smart.
Yeah, I mean,
smart.
you
I take it back.
You talk about another team that Zach Taylor was on the hot seat, a little bit ago in Cincinnati, like hardcore hot seat. Like people were, actually upset that they hadn't let this guy go. And the Miami Dolphins, you should have taken a page out of that one because shoot, that was probably not going to work out well for you there. But that's just kind of one of those things that I actually had Cincinnati finishing fourth in that division. I did not see them.
Really?
Yeah. I called the way I had that one called. I had the Ravens, the Browns, the Steelers, and then the Bengals. There is how I saw that one playing out there.
Well, I'm like a fucking closet Bengals fan. Like I love Cinderella stories, and like I feel like this is like this is our Cinderella story. Like if they can do this, I want to see Bengals Bucks. I want to see young thorough Burrow take on the GOAT in Tom Brady. Like I would. And then if he sends Brady packing, oh gosh, that would, oh.
The only problem is shoot, that NFC, I thoroughly believe that is going through Lambeau Field for that NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And quite frankly,
what I want.
Yeah.
Not what analytics say.
Well, I get what the analytics say, but I also been watching the games all year long. And for a guy that believes in the analytics and believes in a lot of that stuff, there's also one of those that you've got to believe in the analytics, and then you've got to go with what your eyes tell you and what your heart also tells you there as well when you're making some of those things.
Yep, it did last year too.
Yeah, that's true. But when it's all said and done, I just don't see. I don't see them. There's not many quarterbacks that can go up into that are from the NFC side of things.
Yeah,
they can go up into Lambeau and win that, right? And the Packers have to win one playoff game to get the NFC Conference Championship yet again. And Tom Brady is probably the only one that can go up there and do that. But a depleted Buccaneers roster that has not had near the dominant defense that they had last year. Like, I don't know. That's I don't put those chances as great. So I had to change my my pick from being to the Packers to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC side of things last night. But
yeah, I mean,
is
Packers,
what it is.
Yeah, yes, yeah, but to me that's not like it's not compelling enough for me. I feel like it's a super lazy take.
Fair.
Because I mean, you and I, we both know, we've had these conversations.
Yeah,
it's not entertaining.
It may not be entertaining, but me, I always try and stake myself on being right over being entertaining.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What's more entertaining is just being right and giving people the folks and giving people folks and the advice that they can.
Yeah, and that's why I said what I want. Like what I want is Bengals Bucks.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. It'll probably be like Packers and Chiefs or something or the other. It was something around that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is Packers Chiefs on this one. So it'll be interesting. It's there's still a lot of football left to be played out, and this one's going to be a lot of fun to watch this thing going down the stretch. So
Cincinnati, you better upset the whole way through, please.
Well, they're favored week 1, so they just need to hold chalk week 1.
Exactly.
Old chalk week 1 and then upset galore. So it'll be interesting to see, what happens here. I did like, take it to the Hizzy's take here on the biggest upsets would be
That's
the
it.
Steelers, Raiders, and Eagles. And yes, those would all be massive upsets on that one. I'd actually be curious looking to, just see what a 3-leg parlay would be on those ones there. That would be some plus matchups there. So be interesting. But well, Robbie, I think that's going to take us down here to the end of it. Any final thoughts for the listeners out there?
Pray for a super entertaining Super Bowl matchup. I'm tired of seeing Brady in the Super Bowl. But at the same time, you got to appreciate greatness. So yeah, just whatever you got to do. Good people out there speaking into the universe, speaking into existence. We need something entertaining. We need something different. We need something thrilling. Like for a free game that's going to be on TV all across North America, I need this like pay-per-view vibes, Like it's like we need such a good matchup that like it feels like damn, like I can't even watch this for free. I should have had to pay. With that being
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Take it to the Hizzy. $10 get you 800 if you take those 3.
Hey, you trying
This is some massive odds.
Yeah, if you're trying to chase some cheddar, you chasing the money. But other than that, download the SportsMe app, hop on the SportsMe app, show us love. Link is down below in the description section. On this piece of content, hit the like button, and subscribe to the SportsMe channel, and check out Derek's and I's content because we work really hard at it.
That was an entertaining lead up there. I liked it. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's gonna go ahead and do it for the SportsMe Windup. Happy sporting to you this weekend. It should be there's a lot of fun games out there, a lot of fun sports, and
there's a fight this weekend, I think, too.
I believe there is as well. So you know what? The best place to do after watching all of those sports and getting your takes together and getting your thoughts together is to then air out those thoughts and challenge some other folks' thoughts over there on the SportsMe app. Get sportsme.com to download it, or you can find it in the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and quit missing out, would you? Get over there, download it. No more missing out for you. I don't want you to just be missing out on all these great sports these sports things happening out there in the SportsMe verse. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. He's Robbie. I'm Derek. Have a good one. Be safe.